Please welcome TV Smith.
Before the Adverts and before punk, when I came up to London, I used to go and see bands in pubs all the time. It was pub rock. Pub rock was the kind of precursor to punk. Without the pubs, there would have been no venues for it. And the pubs have always played this role of being the small venues where people could express themselves and get gigs, you know, without having to have a whole history behind them.
After a winter of rain, they're emptying the shelves again.
The decline came, I think, in the Thatcher years, really. You know, when the whole kind of nature of the country started changing, and people didn't support small-scale gigs anymore. It all became, you know, like it had been pre-punk. That bands were only relevant if they were huge and successful, and you know, and it cost a fortune to get in, and they were standing miles away on a stage. You know, it's like the personality went out. It went out the society, and it went out the music scene. And just financially, pubs couldn't keep going. They were closing down. They started closing down late 80s, 90s onwards. And one of the first things to go was the gig scene.
Price to pay if it gets us back to the good old days.
Pubs bring a vibrancy to a neighbourhood, and the fact they have gigs on brings people in. It creates a vibe and an artistic culture, and then because the neighbourhood's gone up in apart from anything else, it goes up in value. So people come and move in more expensive flats, and they like the neighbourhood, but they don't like the noise anymore. You know, they come in from outside. They don't want to hear loud bands anymore. So the pubs are under pressure to close down. It's the same old story. And I don't know what the solution is, really. I think somewhere like where we're talking now, Duke of Wellington in Shoreham, they've created an environment where actually all people who are here like it is thriving because of it. You know, they create a lovely atmosphere, you know, they take care of the beers and the drinks they put on, they take care of the music they put on. But then if expensive flats go up next door and rich neighbours move in, they're nothing to do with it, you know. So, you know, they could be under threat.
Future. Future.
The difference in Europe is that it tends to be club-based, not pub-based. There are bars, you know, I do play some of them, small bars, and they tend to be often in blocks of houses, and what happens is that they finish early, you know, so that the neighbours don't complain. They finish at 10 or something if it's a bar in housing. That's quite common. You know, it's not the same thing where the neighbours are all trying to shut it down because they don't like music anymore. In Germany, for example, there's a much more open attitude towards music and culture, and they accept that bands, even if they're horrible punk rock bands, are part of the culture, and they improve society. It's just a whole different attitude. I just don't see small venues being closed down in the rest of Europe like the way they are in Britain. I don't think Britain respects music.
I was already a victim of a system waiting favor of.
I don't believe that bands can survive without playing live. You know, you can have Spotify, you can have YouTube, you know, you can make videos of your band playing together in the rehearsal room, but until you get in front of an audience, that's the testing ground, and you can't have a band unless you get in front of an audience. It just doesn't work. A band without an audience is not a band.